Hello, we are charting the higher octave with New Jersey alternative band Dear Dark Head. And I have Rob and Kevin with me. Thank you guys for joining me all the way from New Jersey.
Good to be here. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you. It's such a I'm really impressed with I was listening to some of the tracks from your latest album. It's called The Pendulum Swings. I love that title too. There's a lot of movement there, and it takes you back in the long history that you guys been around for wow since 1988, right? When you first
Yep.
formed. Wow. Yeah, and another thing that I really love is the title is the name of your project, Dear Darkhead. I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it comes from an old Irish poem. We couldn't really decide on a name at the time, and I had a book of Irish poetry and all these books actually in the room where we rehearsed, and I went through all the books and just kind of trying to come up with a name, and I must have gone through like 200 names, and everybody was like, no, 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 and at the time that was the only one we all agreed on, so we're like, that's the name.
I kind of looked it up because I love the name itself. I went and looked it up, and I know it's Irish. So there's an English translation, which is just as beautiful, and I wanted to
Yeah,
read it if that's okay because it's
sure.
so beautiful the way this whole thing panned out for you guys.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
like a
read
love
it.
love poem.
Yeah. Put your head, darling, 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 your darling black head, my heart above. O mouth of honey with thyme for fragrance, who with heart in breast could deny you love? Oh, many and many a young girl for me is pinning, letting her locks of gold to the cold wind free. For me, the foremost of our gay young fellows, but I leave 100 pure love for thee. Then put your head, darling, 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 your darling black head, my heart above. O mouth of honey with thyme for fragrance, who with heart in breast could deny you love? Short, sweet, and full of longing, so beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, we kind of liked it out of context. I mean, we liked I guess, we wanted something that nobody else would have, and out of context, we just kind of liked it. And then we ran it all together as one word. You know how we spell our band name, but we wanted something that nobody else would come up with.
So, who was the one that founded this? How did you guys? I mean, were you reading this author, or because he's Samuel Ferguson? This is an 1867 poem. Probably a lot of people don't even never heard of it. you know, it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah. I started the band in '88, and we rehearsed at my house. I'm the drummer, so we had a setup there. And like I said, I just happened to have a book of Irish poetry, and that's what we liked. So it was just again more about trying to come up with something that was kind of unique sounding. And even if you Google it now, the only two things that come up are that poem and us. So it's kind of easy to find us.
I really do love the how what the feeling I get when I heard the poem. It kind of it brings out the music as well. It kind of flows. That's why I had to read it.
Thank you so much.
I
We
mean,
like that. I
the,
mean,
the the poem is like it's like a song, because it repeats
yeah,
itself. Yeah, which
right,
is
exactly.
yeah. So I understand in a way how why you created this. Is great. It's a mysterious name, dear Darkhead. I love it. Yeah. When I told a friend, oh, I'm gonna be doing an interview, and they go, who's the band? Dear Darkhead. She goes, I guess she looked at herself and she goes, oh, my hair is black. Does that mean that it's referring to? and she, so a lot of pretty girls who have black hair are going to be fascinated with that. They're going to say, that's shit, they're about me. Yeah. So anyway, it's just funny. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. As coming from an Irish
Cool.
poem, right? I mean, what is an Irish? Usually, the Irish people they have red hair, but so that's
Yeah.
good. I feel like it's somehow connected now. The name of your band to the Pendulum Swings. I mean, it's a great flow together. Just because
Yeah,
it's
I mean,
the Dear Darkhead is like it's like you're writing to someone, right? It's like
yeah,
a
yeah,
letter.
yeah.
So it's kind of like going back in time to me because when people don't I mean, people now, they do they text. They don't go dear, So it kind
Yeah.
of reminds me of the older times, dear dark head. And then when you talk about the pendulum, it kind of goes back in time, swinging back and forth. So it's kind of like going back, like a kind of like a rebirth of something.
Well, Kevin came up with the song Pendulum Swings, so he can
Oh,
talk more about the song.
and by the way, I love that song. That's probably my favorite song in the album.
Thank you. It was fun to create. There were a lot of different woven parts throughout the song. It took me a little bit of time to balance everything out and fit everything in the way I wanted to create the vibe that I think ultimately we were all ended up being very happy with. But yeah, we're really happy with it, and it ended up feeling like a good closing track for the recording.
Yeah. So, Kevin, you play the guitar,
Hmm.
and Rob, you play the drums, and then
Correct.
you have a bass player. He's not with us right now.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's just you guys for now, and I know that this whole album is instrumental, which is beautiful. Um, I love instrumental, but previously I know you had a guy that sang. He was a lead vocalist. He's not with the band anymore. Do you guys plan on ever doing like a singer again, like a lead singer? I know you've been doing instrumental even before the lead singer, right? But do you guys ever want to go back to doing that, or maybe off and on, like have some singer, sometimes not?
I think we just plan to keep on working, and
Yeah.
whether that is instrumentally or with a vocalist, and if whichever one works out the best, that's really what we'll do. If the right singer comes along, which they haven't in a long time since our last singer, Michael, we just gonna keep on doing what we do.
Yeah. I think if the right person presented themselves and it felt right,
Yeah. Yeah.
it would be great. But we like the freedom of not being reliant on that. We can go either way. So if we had a singer, that'd be great. And if we don't, we're really equally comfortable just being instrumental. It's kind of expanded our sound in a lot of ways because it's made us work a little harder to try to make the songs more interesting
Mhm.
as
No, you guys do
instrumental.
a great job. Honestly,
Thank you.
a lot of bands would struggle with that because then people would depend on the singer. Everybody looks for a singer now, but you guys carry it really well without a singer, and that shows a lot of strength in the band.
Yeah, I think it has become a strength for us, at least in terms of songwriting. It's like I said, it's kind of forced us to be a little more, well, what can we do with less? You know?
I would love to
So
have it times. I think it would be. I think our music would reach a lot more people. People could probably connect with a little bit more, but this is what we're doing. So this
no,
is what
I
we'll
mean, so you guys were so I'm trying to get the history. So I know you formed back in 1988, and then so this particular track is called the Pendulum Swing. Is the second full length album released in 26 years. So prior to that, and I know you had an EP, right? More recently.
Yeah, that came out in 2016. It was also instrumental. That was on St. Marie Records.
Oh, okay. And then so prior to this, it was like 26 years ago. So you guys took a break.
We've been playing like the entire time. We just weren't putting material
Oh,
out. Like we
yeah.
were playing out. It wasn't like we were on hiatus. We just hadn't had a record out because we weren't on a label.
we attempted to
Um,
put a record out, but we recorded it ourselves. However, the recording process was a little flawed, and unfortunately, there are 10 songs that are done that we have that probably won't make it out.
At least
oh.
not in that format. Yeah.
So this album was recorded on Minor Street Recordings, which is your label, but it was also
That
produced
Minor Street's the studio we recorded at in Philadelphia in the Fishtown area. And we put it out on our own
on
label,
the
Fertile
Fertile.
Crescent Records.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
Fertile Crescent Records. Right, right. So this album was produced, engineered, and mixed by Brian McTeer and Amy Morrissey, and then also
Hmm.
mastered by Grammy-nominated engineer Joe Rambert, who's worked with Animal Collective and a band I really like, Blonde Redhead, which is an awesome band.
Yeah. Yeah, we love them.
Yeah, and then uh, it's really interesting because you have so many different variety of things happening at the same time. Can you talk a little bit about some of the songs in the album? I know some of the songs are there's how many are new? The Pendulum Swing, and I think there's the Black Pearl, right? That's also brand new.
Black Pearl, pretty new.
I think it's really an even split. Five relatively, well, five that
Yeah,
somewhat reach far back, and three that go from brand new to the middle.
yeah, it's about right. About five are older, five are new. That's about right.
Yeah. So what are the influences of this of the songs and and how it connects to the album to the
Life.
title?
Yeah, we've had a lot of ups and downs over the years, and I think it is a good the title track is kind of sums everything up for us.
And I know for I don't know if it's one track or more track. I know that Letting Go was a collaboration with keyboardist Joe McGinty, who's known for
Yeah,
working
he's a
with Psychedelic
friend.
Furs and Deborah Harry. So how
Yeah,
did you connect
we
with that? Uh-huh.
so we're actually friends with his younger brothers. And we knew we're big Furs fans, and we also knew that he, played keyboard for a lot of other people. I mean, he was no longer in the Furs at this point. And we just kind of thought it'd be cool to have Kevin actually started out on keyboard, so we thought it might be to have somebody play and suggested Joe, and he agreed to do it for us.
I actually started out on piano. I have a baby
Yeah,
grand, and I finally got a chance to use it to put it to good use. So it started off on my piano, then it turned into keyboard where I hooked it into what I record with. So all the keyboard parts were written. Unfortunately, when we got into the studio, we couldn't recreate them with something that sounded like what I had used initially. So that's when we reached out to Joe McGinty, and he filled in the blanks there for us. Very nicely, I might add.
Yeah. So how did the poem Dear Dark, I know it's a poem with an Irish word. I can't really pronounce it. I don't want to pronounce that, but how does that shape the band's identity?
again, I don't think we weren't concentrating so much on the poem as the title of it out of context. But I think it has just it. We wanted something again that was sort of what is that? Kind of maybe with a little bit of mystery to it. Something again that nobody else would have that name. I think just kind of more of an interesting, intriguing kind of title. And I think that's kind of the approach we try to do our music as well. Like, it's not defined. It's sort of in a sense that it's kind of moody, and atmospheric.
Yeah, no, it's really an original title, honestly.
Oh, thanks.
I like it a lot, and I like how you put it all together in one word.
Yeah,
It's like all like extended Dear Darkhead. It's kind of I don't know. I mean, other people it's just one word, which is great. You can make a logo with it. You can do all kinds of stuff with it. Promotion wise, you can extend it and make a big banner.
yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Thank you.
It's really creative in that way. Did any personal stories from the last two, I guess, decades make it to this new song, to this new album?
Well, like I said, I think it's really just not per se anything in particular, but I think life shapes what we do. I
Yeah.
know with letting go, it just sort of, I'm sure you've heard the description of it. Rob has in another life
Another
that,
life, yeah.
I think it's reflective about maybe things that go through Rob's mind. I can't say it's really been any one standout incident or anything that makes that turns into a song. At least it hasn't at this point. Just just the creative process really about and where we are at the time.
Yeah, I think just because we've been in a band for a long time, and we're older, it's more reflective of life, like Kevin said. It's just kind of like looking back on things and where we started and where we're at now. And so I think there's a lot of sort of an introspective album, I guess is the best way to put it.
Especially since it spanned such a long period of time. There were songs like Tears that we had played with Michael, although it was instrumental. We usually always had an instrumental song or two mixed in with our sets, and that was one that's probably the oldest one on the recording that we just finally felt like, well, let's put this out there for everyone. It was felt worthy of doing so. Not that it really had much of a story to it. I think they really are just about feeling and atmosphere.
So do you guys collaborate in putting the in writing the songs? Or
Yeah.
is there one person that does it most and then you guys just work it?
Uh, so like I'll start a song at home, like and demo it, and or Kevin will do the same, and then we'll present it to the band entirely, and then we'll kind of work on it together and alter things. Like Kevin might add some guitar parts in addition to the stuff I've written, and maybe vice versa, or I might change up a drum part here or there. Whatever feels right.
Yeah. Sometimes an arrangement gets adjusted.
Sometimes it's
So
exactly how, sometimes it's exactly how it was written on the demo, and other times we change it up a little bit where we feel it needs to be tweaked. But in general, yeah, we collaborate. It's never really the same twice in terms of how we write. Whoever's got a good idea.
I never really do much with the drums. I leave that entirely up to Rob.
yeah. Oh, that's good. So how did you guys meet? I mean, were you obviously you guys known each other for a long, long time and
So I started the band in 1988, and we had a guitar player at the time. His name was Kurt Douglas, who I had gone to high school and college with. And about 4 years in, he left the band. And right before that, I was working at a record store at the time, and I didn't know Kevin at the time. And he came into the record store one day, and he was asking, "Hey, do you have anything by this band, Ride or
The
Pale
Pale Saints.
Saints?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, man! Like nobody ever comes here and asks for that." So I was very excited. And he's like, and I gave him some posters and some flats because I had got some in the back room, and I was like. He's like, do you know anybody that's in a band like that? I'm like, I'm in a band like that. Like, do you need a guitar player? I'm like, we have a guitar player. And then a couple months after that, our guitar player left the band, Kurt. And I,
Fortunately, I had said, well, if your guy ever leaves, here's my number.
and yet
Something along those
I had
lines.
taken his number and address for like our mailing list. And then he came to our show that we played right after our guitar player left. And we were playing in Philadelphia at Khyber Pass, opening up for the Flesh Tones. And I think
oh wow.
it was our first time getting a gig there. So, well, we decided to do it without our guitar player. He agreed to do it. But we're like, nah, it's good, man. You're leaving. And Kevin was at the show, and then he auditioned, and we didn't even audition anybody else right out of the gate. We're like, yeah, you're in. He just killed it, and yeah, so it's been that he's been in the band ever since. That was like 94,
92 or
92, yeah,
yeah.
that's right, 92, 92.
And then was this in Philadelphia or New Jersey?
Well, we live in New Jersey, but that show was in Philadelphia, which is about an hour
Oh.
away from where we're located. We're close to Atlantic City.
Oh wow. Okay. So how did you meet Shauna? How did
I'm
you
sorry,
connect?
what?
How did you connect it with Shameless Promotion? Shameless Promotion PR.
So right, yeah, yeah. I was friends with Shauna on Facebook, and I realized she did a lot of
Oh
promotion for bands that I'm friendly with, like the Velt. And
yeah.
she's just worked with so many great clients. And so I hit her up and asked her if she'd be to listen to our record and see if she'd be interested rather in promoting the new record. And she agreed, and it's been great. She's been very helpful and really easy to work with. And yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, you know you have a website and people can easily like it's so easy to find deardarkhead.com and
Yep.
there's a lot of interesting photos here. I'm just really I love looking at these old things because they really do say a lot about where you've been, this pendulum swing, it's really interesting pictures
Yep.
and
It
these are
swung for all these years.
We're still swinging.
No, that's right. No, it's like, when you go, oh, the pendulum swings. It's kind of like, I don't know. It's really a
Yeah.
interesting way of describing time, right? It's all about time. So time is, some people don't last, you know. So you
Oh,
guys are
absolutely.
really, you guys have that great history, and that's a powerful thing because,
Yeah, we just trying to build on what we can do and just kind of, I think we still enjoy doing it, and we just try to do it to the best of our ability, and just, let people hear it, as many people as we can get to hear it, and try to entertain ourselves and, not be bored by it, and, try new things.
yeah, and there's also a video. You have I'll put the link on here, but
Mhm.
yeah, you have videos, and is there a particular track that you would like a first time listener to listen to first? That's
Why don't
more,
you?
Yeah, I mean, we like everything on the album, so I mean,
I'm always curious to hear what others, people like yourself,
yeah.
find worthy of presenting first.
Well, I like the Pendulum Swing just because I like the way it sounds, and I like the title. The
Yeah.
title says a lot, you know. It gives you then okay. Oh, that's mysterious. I'm gonna check that one out. Yeah, so
Yeah,
that's
definitely.
probably.
We'll work backwards.
Is there a particular song that most people like more than there seems to be more popular?
I don't think really. I mean, I think we have a wide variety of our kind of vibes. Like, there's kind of more rock and stuff and more moody stuff and kind of, I don't want to say poppier, but hookier stuff. I think we don't usually tend to have like, we're not like a singles band where it's like, yeah, that's the song. I think we get a wide variety of reactions to I like this song or that song. So you for the first two singles we chose Letting Go and In Another Life. So those are, we kind of led with those, but really any song on the album I think would be good for people to check out that's fairly indicative of our sound.
Yeah. So that the album was already released in July, and it's in Fertile Crescent Records, and
Yeah.
there's a video there, and people can check out your Bandcamp page.
Yep.
Now, the rest of your music from that goes way back. How can people find that?
Well, we just put our first full-length album is also available on Bandcamp, and you can go to Spotify and hear everything that we've recorded is available on Spotify for listening. So, we'll some of the other stuff up on Bandcamp too, but everything's out there to be is available for streaming.
Yeah, and then you also have a YouTube channel, and of course, Facebook, Instagram, and your website, which is great
Yeah,
because a lot of people don't have websites, but that's really good. You provide a lot of info there.
there's a lot
And
of info on the website. Yeah, lots of info on the website.
so, do you guys have anything coming up in the future? Any plans?
Well, we're gonna have another video coming out real soon for In Another Life that is going to be released shortly, like probably sometime here in the beginning of August. And right now we're just kind of working on some new material, and we're going to try to get back into the studio quickly, maybe do an EP. That would be the plan, I think, instead of waiting around to get a whole album out. Just sort of, we have a bunch of songs that we would like to that we're kind of hot to record with our new bass player.
Oh, okay. So these are new stuff, right?
Yeah, these would be new
Oh,
songs. Yeah, there's one older one that we've been doing for a while that was we have a lot of instrumentals that go way back that some of them we never got to record. So but mostly new stuff.
oh, cool. All right. Well, it was a pleasure to meet you guys. I'm looking
Yeah,
forward to
thanks
the
for
rest of the
having us.
recording. And be sure to I'll be sure to tag you guys in Instagram and Facebook and when
Awesome.
I release this. And then well, how about the background? The background you guys have right there in your and well, what is can you explain that a little bit? The record cover?
Sure. Yeah, actually, if you go to our Instagram page, I just actually posted about this the other day because we have gotten a lot of questions of it. So before we actually started working on getting the album produced, before we were wondering what was even going to be on the cover, um, around this area in Atlantic City, there's a bar that I frequent called Angeloni's Club Madrid. It's like an Italian restaurant, and I just got a new iPhone, and I went into the back bar, the back lounge. They have up on the ceiling. They have this like domed, mirrored ceiling. It's like real 80s looking, and it's like real low lit back there. And I took a picture of it, and it went into like a long exposure because of the low lighting, and my hand moved, and it just blurred out. And I looked at it, I'm like, wow, that looks amazing. I should save that and maybe, use it for something down the road.
Mm.
So if you go onto our Instagram page, you can see a picture of the actual thing in focus, and then the album cover itself. And once we picked the album title, I was like, hey, I think I got something that might work. I'm a graphic designer as well, so I designed the album cover, and I showed it to Kevin. He was like, yeah, try it. And
Mm.
it just like it has a lot of motion, I think, in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think it kind of really worked with the title and the vibe of the album.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a
But when
frequency, right? It's kind of like a
Yeah, you
frequency,
can sort of see it like it's sweeping through, almost like a pendulum swinging, but in a more abstract way, and it just kind of made sense. But if you go to the Instagram page, it's just one
Hmm.
of the recent posts. It's interesting to see it by itself, not blurred out.
Oh yeah, I think I'll do that. I haven't checked that yet. Oh, okay. Wow, that's amazing. Some of these things they just happen right when you least expect it. That's why
Yeah, it
I
was a happy accident.
that's why I understand when you say we're just going with the flow. I guess when we find somebody who can be a vocalist, well, it'll happen. I guess everything just
Right.
goes with the flow. We never
Exactly.
push ourselves to look for one. If it
Yeah.
happens, it happens.
Once in a while we'll put an ad out there, but so far no luck in that. So we're just kind of, again, like you said, going with the flow. Uh,
Moving on.
yeah, and our bass player he worked out very serendipitously. Also, he's like the only person that really applied when we were looking for a new bass player and like nailed it right out of the gate. We didn't even have to look for anybody else, so it
Wow.
just worked. It was kind of really great. James is great.
We knew that afternoon. He
Yeah,
was the guy.
Yeah. No, I totally understand those kind of things because it does happen that way. I mean,
yeah,
once you force something, it doesn't work. You have to
yep,
just
Mm.
let time come by. Let the pendulum swing.
yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, thank you very much, guys, for joining me. It was a pleasure to meet
Well,
you,
thank you.
and
Yep,
keep me posted on your stuff, and I'll follow you guys as well.
Awesome.
definitely.
Okay,
Likewise.
and I'll put the link, and I'll tag you guys. All right, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you, guys.
Bye
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye. Thank you.